Namaskaram, my dear friends. I am back again. I was supposed to share my experience about my Kailash and Manasarovar Darshan, but I feel like I still need to process everything that I have taken in, so I don't think I'm really ready. However, I think it is very important to share the tips that I have for myself that I wish I would have done before beginning the Darshan journey. And this might help you. So if it applies, then take it. If not, then just say hey and move on. So number one is you have to get the diamonds. It's very interesting because I thought I was like Superman and I thought I didn't need the diamonds. However, this is once in a lifetime trip. So I had to do the visit with my primary care provider, primary care manager to get the diamonds. So I had my diamonds before I went to go on a trip. And I was so happy I had it because the first ever altitude change that we have experienced was from Kathmandu and a shift to all the way to Simikot, which is like I don't know the meters in terms of elevation, but it was very significant. That first few hours I had a really bad headache, and I took the Diamox, and then throughout the day it got better and better, and that was it. I think the Diamox kicked in. It saved me some pain and some suffering where I would have focused on that suffering rather than soaking in the moment and the environment around it. So it's important. Get your Diamox. Get your Diamox. Okay, it's also very important to pack wet wipes and toilet paper. There might be situations where you can't have access to bathrooms or toilets at the moment, so they would just do this. What that means is the environment is your toilet. So it is very important to have toilet paper. Some people are going to ask you for some, and I gave some of mine, and some meditators also gave some of theirs to me. So it's like something you trade. It's like a precious commodity that's just really nice to share. Toilet paper. So have toilet paper. The wipes is just really important to have because there might be days where you cannot shower because the situation doesn't allow for showering. Just an example is there's not enough water in the village, or there's not really any hot water, which is one main reason why participants couldn't shower. So it's important to have wipes, hot spots, just to keep yourself pleasant among other participants. So yes, toilet paper for sharing and wipes for your well-being. Third one is, I think it's important to have your toothbrush and toothpaste like easily accessible. Again, I think it's for your well-being. What I mean to say is like when you wake up and then, schedule is packed most days because, it always starts with Guru Puja early in the morning, and there's like acclimatization where you do walk around the environment and in nature, and you gotta be quick. So if you can't do your morning routine, at least brush your teeth. It will allow you to talk confidently amongst the rest of the participants. So I think it's very important to have your toothbrush and toothpaste easily accessible. Fourth one is you have to have headlamp, because there are some villages, particularly Simikot or even Dakchi, where we had our base camp, where electricity is not always available. Going to the toilet is, of course, necessary, and to not stumble in the dark, have your headlamp. There are days where, the glowing light, which is our moon, will shine and brighten your path towards the toilet. But, however, when you're in the toilet tent, you don't know where things are, so that's when your headlamp is very important. Also very important to have extra batteries, because mine died and I had to borrow from Kana. Thank you, Kana. His headlamp, so I just can't go to the bathroom. So yes, headlamp plus extra batteries. Also another thing, because we always move, tip number 5, you have to have a lock. A lock for your duffel bag that doesn't have keys. I recommend not to have keys, so keys is just another thing where you have to worry about where you put, etc., or you wear on your neck. It's just better to have a combination lock, so you just remember the combination, not to worry about your keys. So I think combination lock is very important. Okay, number six, medicine kit. I actually went to the Darshan journey without a medicine kit. I made one for myself, which just included my Diamox and Tylenol. And then when I arrived there, all the participants were like, "Oh yeah, I have my medicine kit." I'm like, "Oh cool, what's in your medicine kit?" And they're like, "Oh, some diarrhea tabs, headache tabs, blah 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 blah." I'm like, "Oh, how did you guys come up with all these things?" And they were saying it was in the packing list. I didn't know there was a medicine kit packing list. I know I got too busy with work, but I think it is very important to search your email and look for that medicine kit packing list so you actually have it. I think it's very important because once you start symptoms, of course, there's going to be a doctor throughout the journey, but to have that medicine ready so you could like heal yourself faster and just enjoy the moment while being there. I actually had diarrhea the first 2 days, and I'm so glad it happened during that first few days because then I enjoyed the rest of the journey. So yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Next, a scarf or neck gaiter and a mask. Okay, I know I included this 3 in one number because it's very kind of related. So it's very important to have a neck gaiter or scarf to warm your neck. And also while you're on your journey, there's a part of the journey where you have to ride a 4x4 to go to Kailash. And during the journey, it's going to be really bumpy, but that's not the issue. It's going to be really dusty. So I had my neck gaiter, which I actually didn't have, but someone lent to me. Thank you, Peter. So I had like covered my nose and my mouth, so I just breathed through the scarf. I mean, not the scarf, the neck gaiter. And very interestingly, that saved me from having to inhale all this dust. However, you guys, that first part, because we had to stop 3 times because it was a long journey, so we had to, that first stop, I didn't really feel good and I was weakened a little bit because I realized I was still inhaling some dust. So this very like small particle of dust still went through the neck gaiter, which covered my nose and my mouth. So I realized, if I continue doing this, I'm gonna get sicker and sicker. So what I did is I did my mask, like a regular N95 mask or like a cloth mask. And then after I wore that, I had the neck gaiter over, and that actually helped me a lot. I didn't feel any worsening of my inhalation and my lung condition throughout the journey. So it's very important to prepare your lungs throughout the journey. Because just a side note too, I know there was a testimony that Radhi did about Sadhguru's motorcycle ride where he was really sick, having to travel throughout the desert because he had to inhale all the dust during his journey, and he was really weakened for a period of time. So you guys, if Sadhguru is gonna get affected by the dust, I know we are gonna get affected by it too. So best prevention. Okay, next is it's best to have wet weather gear. They're going to provide us a down jacket, which is not waterproof. The down jacket is just provided for extra warmth in case you don't have extra layers. Also, one recommendation, if you're gonna get the down jacket, have a size bigger. I just got large, but I think large was more of my size, but I just took it because I'm like, okay, yeah, it's my size. But then I couldn't add more layers because the hand part was too tight. So it was hard for me to like tuck my hand in when it was cold because the size was just right for me. So it's best if you get a down jacket, have the bigger one. But to my point though, the wet weather gear, because weather there is very unpredictable and it's still so nice to explore the area even when it's raining. So I do recommend have wet weather gear. They do provide ponchos though, but if the poncho is not necessarily your taste, why am I saying your taste? But more so, it was harder for me to access all my stuff because the poncho was like too big and like, you know, covers all of me. I can't really access my pocket or etc. My SPF lip balm. So I think the poncho did its purpose, but for convenience, it would have been nice if I had a wet weather jacket, so the pockets would have been accessible. Also, wet weather pants, because you don't want your pets to get wet. And very important, wet weather boots. Yes, waterproof boots. Okay, number 9, you guys, underwear and socks. In the packing list, when you start your journey, when you leave like Kathmandu, they will have a packing list that you will have in your duffel bag. My packing list only said 4 sets of underwear and socks, so I packed that. However, you're gonna be in a journey where it's gonna be longer than 4 days, so I had packed some liners, females. But actually, one of the meditators, Sandy, and 2 actually packed some disposable underwear where they had a lot of. And I realized if you could get your hands on some disposable underwear so you don't need to just pack 4 because it's really light, get that. It's going to be more hygienic if you have those disposable underwears, and pack a lot. When I say a lot, maybe like times 2 of the recommended packing list, because that was probably the amount of days we were actually there and the amount of times I needed to have fresh underwear. So yes, disposable underwear is great. Also socks. My god, you guys, socks, I only had 4, so I had to recycle. Yeah, and my feet gets really wet, so it's really important to have increased number of socks than just 4. And I couldn't even wash my socks because I thought if I washed my socks, the area was like really gloomy sometimes, like you can't really predict the weather, so I wasn't sure that it was gonna dry up, so I didn't wash my socks. So I packed 4 good ones and like a few thin ones, like it lasted me throughout, but I had to recycle some used socks. So I think it's best to have socks because you're gonna use your socks. You're gonna be walking around a lot and like hiking and then like acclimatizing. You're gonna need your socks, so pack your socks accordingly. Okay, number 10. I think this is like just a thought or like a bonus tip. When we were at Simicot, there are a lot of kids, and I don't know, like having tourists around the area is new to them because this is like a new place where Isha has established for us to be able to visit Kailash. It used to be, I think, through China, but this time it's through Nepal and through Simicot, which is like new to the civilization there, the kids there. So when they saw us, I don't know, they thought it was new, so they were like just saying hi, hello, but after a few days they were starting to ask for things, especially money. And I know they recommend for us not to give them money because then they're gonna come and then depend on the financial support, which is I don't necessarily think is the best way to help them, then because then they're gonna be like dependent on it. And kind of gets a little annoying because all they want is like, oh, auntie, uncle, money. I think it's best to have chocolates, like just small packs of chocolate, like tiny Twix or tiny Snickers, so you could give to them, you could have fun with them, because they also ask for chocolates. And I think it's like a better interaction when you have like sweets to give than money. So I do recommend like pack a little snack so you could give the kids. They're really nice. I appreciate them. So that's it, you guys. I wish I had prepared better, but I think I prepared to the best of my ability with what I knew. So I hope this extra packing list or extra tips would help you on your Darshan to Kailash and Manasarovar. Also, if you have any other questions, just message me and I will reply back. Okay? Bye!